Listen by tuning in on air or online and listen to WTIM Ag Podcasts anytime.
WTIM.
You're listening to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, along with Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Ridings Pena, and Okanee Chop Shop. I'm your host, Reed Kamai. I should say more accurately, this is the WTIM Pena Morning Show, and our guest in this segment actually concerns one of those sponsors in Bob Ridings Pena. He is the general manager over there in Brian Booth. Brian, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Reed. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing just fine, getting through it one step at a time, as Brian and I were talking about before we got on here. So doing all of that. How about yourself, Brian?
I'm doing well, enjoying this beautiful weather, at least as long as we've got it for this morning. I know yesterday was great, and definitely starting to feel like spring already.
Yeah, that's right. Now, of course, you say that, and then in a couple of days it'll be cold again. So, yeah, enjoy it while you can.
Welcome to the Midwest.
Yes, yeah, that's right. That's that's how it goes. But when the weather gets warm, I mean, you folks are certainly thinking about that at Bob Ridings, and I know you've got some spring savings deals for customers. What do you have to share about that?
Well, obviously going into spring and summer, the big thing for us, being a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer, is always the Jeep Wranglers, where we really start the process of where we can't have enough of them. I've got some great ones now, though. We've been stocking up, getting ready for summer, but we've been selling them faster than we can get them for the most part. We've got a pretty good line on the 4xEs, which are the hybrid Jeep Wranglers. They are awesome. They, especially right now with the gas prices, they are definitely shining. But I mean, some of these to highlight the buys we've been getting and can pass on to the consumer. Many of these have window stickers of like $60,000 and $70,000 brand new. They still have NADAs in the $50,000, and we're selling them starting at $34,990 all the way up to the Rubicons at $39,990. So these things are, over $12,700 off below what NADA says we should be selling them for exactly as they are. And you're saving over $20,000 off of the original window sticker. And these are all 1-year-old vehicles, and many, if not most of them, have less than 10,000 miles on them. I've had them with 1,000 miles. So we're buying them by the truckloads. I mean, literally getting fleets of these and selling them, several a week, several a day sometimes. I've had every trim level. We've still in stock. I've got Saharas. I've got Willys, maybe 2. We've got one backcountry left. I've got one Rubicon left. I actually have one left that has that power retractable roof. That's always a very popular one and extremely hard to get. So, I mean, we're buying as many as we can and passing on the savings to you guys. And they, like I said, have been very popular. We've been selling a lot of them. Going into summer, you've got the tops off. It's the perfect vehicle for that.
It sure is. And then, you were talking about the 4xEs. We were talking about them before we put the mics on earlier. Have you noticed, like, the electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles, I guess is more accurate. Have you noticed those sales kind of going up because of the gas prices?
Probably. It's hard to say, what influences any which way. Definitely gas prices affect those. I think the biggest thing is the bargain. I mean, people are getting these, like I said, so far under that even before the gas prices, these were taken off out of here pretty quickly.
Okay, so those are still going out there. And you mentioned, right, like you had vehicles, right, with the original price of like $50,000 to $60,000, and you mentioned for one of them you were selling it for like $35,000. So that's almost like a 50% down from that. I mean, I'm not an expert in car sales. You are. That's why we have you on. Is that is that typical, or has that been like an increase in the markdowns as of late?
That's an exceptionally good buy. One thing the Ridings Auto Group is known for is that, I mean, we use our size. We've always been a dealer that would like to sell lots for little. Mr. Ridings told me, almost 15 or over 15 years ago, he would rather make $100 on 10 people than 1,000 on one. And that's our philosophy. We're very transparent. We don't do all the hidden fees, any of that. That'll kind of shift me. I had one the other day, and I always encourage buying local. People don't understand, when the businesses go, what happens. But I had a lady I was talking to on the lot and said that she had went up to Chicago to buy a Jeep, and they had this great price, and she got up there and that wasn't the price it was. They kind of did the bait and switch and all that. Then she went up to Peoria and had a similar type of experience. Happened to drive through our lot, saw we had the same vehicle for less money or, comparable, ended up buying here. Was a local person, and, could have started here and saved a whole lot of time. And we were talking that she really liked this vehicle. She had something similar, but her daughter had used one in driver's ed. And that was one we have, worked a program out with the school that we supply. And so that was, keeping the business local, and, we can continue to do that. And we try to help, everything we can, and try to be a community player. And you don't get that by, taking advantage of people or doing the shady tactics that some people run into. So and that's why Mr. Riding started and has owned numerous dealerships and still does. And, we've grown so much because of that.
Yeah, so it seems from what you're saying that sort of business philosophy that you described, that's sort of helped you out in the long run. Would that be accurate?
Oh, absolutely. We have people that come up from St. Louis and down from Chicago, and many of them have bought multiple vehicles here. And the amount of times that somebody for their first time will come in and say, I didn't realize it didn't have to be painful. It didn't have to take all day, and that, buying a vehicle doesn't have to be like that. Like I said, I've got prices out on every vehicle on the pre-owned side. Everything has, if I can get the original window sticker, it's got the current market valuation, so you can see what, not what I say it should be worth, but what, JD Power, the NADA, so this is what they say that vehicle should be worth, and here's what I'm selling it for. So you can see the savings right up front, and make sure you're getting that good buy too.
Yeah, and I like how you talk about kind of buying local when it comes to cars. We think about it when it comes to clothes or groceries or whatever, but then obviously we don't do quite as much car shopping in our lives for the most part, I would say, and then maybe that sort of shop local mentality doesn't come in at that point, but it seems like it's still relevant when it comes to car shopping as well.
Oh, absolutely. And that in turn, we buy all of our supplies that we can in town. I personally go into most of these businesses and get a lot of our stuff. I know all of them, and it does take everybody to do it. And like I said, and oftentimes we would have been the better deal to start. So it's not like it's costing anybody any money to have went somewhere else. And we're a pretty small town, obviously, compared to some of our other ones, but we have the ability and the benefits of being a large auto group that I can get, vehicles from any of our stores, and we can go get anything anywhere. So we, can, even if I don't have that exact vehicle here that you may want, I can have it here probably by the end of the week most of the time. Sometimes I can have it here within an hour if, we already have something somewhere else. So there's really no cons to trying to support your local businesses.
Yeah, there you go. And you heard it right there from a key player in one of those local businesses, Brian Booth, a general manager at Bob Riding's Pena. Brian, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll continue this discussion right here on the WTIM Pena Morning Show on your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Does your bank offer rewards on qualified signature-based debit card purchases? If not, then we need to talk. Hi, my name is Julie Sanchez with People's Bank and Trust. Join the growing number of our customers who are earning cash back on all qualifying debit card purchases. You already use your debit card. Now make it work for you with Save by Spending rewards from People's Bank and Trust. Earning rewards is as easy as shop, sign, and save. Call 888-PBT-1954 and find out more about our Save by Spending rewards program today. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Dinner time just got easier with Pizza Man Pena. Enjoy great food that includes amazing pizza, tasty pasta, salad bar, and chili. On Monday nights, enjoy the spaghetti special with garlic bread and a side salad for $8. On Tuesday nights, come in for the lasagna special with garlic bread and a side salad for $9. On Wednesday nights, grab yourself an individual pizza and side salad for $9. Pizza Man Pena is proud to be serving Pena and the surrounding areas with great Italian food since 1985.
Noren's Hardware is a local family-owned store offering a wide selection of quality hardware supplies at competitive prices. Whether you need plumbing supplies or electrical supplies, you're sure to find what you need at Noren's Hardware Store, including ice melt, shovels, gloves, heat tape, pipe insulation, portable heaters, and propane to get ready for the winter months. Our staff is committed to providing outstanding customer service and is ready to assist you. Visit our store at 55 Main Street in Pana today.
Here's Cousin Bill from Illinois Paving.
Driveway problems? Are you tired of wasting money on the cheap fix that never lasts for your driveway? If you want your driveway fixed correctly and you're looking for the best bang for your buck, not just a cheap overnight fix, call Cousin Bill at Illinois Paving. We're not always the cheapest, but we feel like the extra money you pay is going into your driveway and not just our pocket. If you want the best bang for your buck and extra material in your driveway, call Cousin Bill at Illinois Paving. 788-7777.
Macon County, it's go time. Fiber internet is finally here, and Shelby Fiber brings the speed you've been waiting for. Laggy video calls, kids yelling about Wi-Fi, annoying buffering during movie night. Not anymore. Shelby Fiber, powered by Shelby Electric Cooperative, delivers blazing fast, future-proof fiber to your home, farm, or business. We're your local neighbors, making your internet work the way it should. Ready to feel the difference? Visit shelbyfiber.coop. Shelby Fiber, because life's too short for slow internet.
Hi, this is Carl Krumsick. Why do you need a monument? It's a place to visit, to remember, and to begin healing. At Krumsick Monument Company, we're locally owned with low overhead, so families can honor their loved ones without overspending. We offer complete services of cleaning, resetting, and adding death dates. Let us design your legacy in beautiful granite. Call 217-825-5197 for an appointment. Krumsick Monument Company, 114 North Webster Street, Taylorville, Illinois.
Your information station, WTIM.
And we're back on the WTIM Pana Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, along with Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Ridings Pana, and Okanee Chop Shop. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and I continue my conversation with Brian Booth, the general manager at Bob Ridings Pana, and we talked a lot about some of the deals going on over there, as well as a lot of the other offerings they have. Something you probably hear a lot in the ads is employee pricing. And Brian, I'd love to know, just a little more about that and where folks might find that today over at your location.
Absolutely. So every one of our new is at employee price. We've done that, for quite a while, and we try to pass on again all our savings to the consumer. So every new vehicle I have is set up there with employee pricing. We order a lot of vehicles for people. With the amount of vehicles they make, and all the trim levels and the options, I'll never forget one time they were telling us that in the Jeep Wrangler, there was over 1 million combinations that you could have. So between colors and options and trim levels and that, it's just, impossible to have exactly what somebody wants all the time. So we have a huge dealer trade network that we've built. We work with a lot of other dealers, local and abroad. I've even got some that we've talked to that I've started recently. If there's a couple different variations that, hey, which ones are you ordering? I'll order the other one. So both of us have one of them, and if one of us needs the other, we work it out. So we try to do that. So we do order a lot of vehicles, custom made as well. You come in and say, hey, this is exactly what I want. we order it and get it here as soon as possible from the manufacturer. We always look to see if there's one out there already for dealer trade. If somebody else has that exact vehicle, and then some people are just, hey, I want this. I don't care what color this is or that. And then, we either have it or get it. It's all the same to us, and we pass on the savings on every one.
Okay, so yeah, you've got the dealer trading there. You mentioned dealers in other countries. What other countries, if I may ask?
No, I'm sorry. A little further than local. No,
Okay.
None in other countries.
Okay, I thought I heard international there, but
No.
Okay.
A little further out. No, I have done them in Texas, California. I mean, we've hit all corners, but no, we don't go outside of the country. Usually it's emissions laws and different manufacturers and stuff like that. So no, it'd have to be a U.S. vehicle.
Okay, I thought I heard the word international in there, so that's
I've
the
had
only
some
reason I was
requests.
asking. Yeah.
I've had many requests. There's definitely some international models that they don't have here that people like, and I've had. I mean, that comes up probably a couple times a month. Hey, can you go get this type of vehicle? It's made in Mexico or Canada. They have a few different ones sometimes. We don't always have the exact same vehicles, and there are some pretty cool ones out there that I'd love to see here.
Okay, so and then when it comes to, so I know you mentioned like reaching out to the manufacturer and then working with other dealers. Are these other dealers like also local-ish dealers, and are there some in Illinois as well?
Oh, absolutely. We try to help. It benefits both of us if it's our real close local ones as far as that goes. But we work all over. Like I said, I have a lot in Illinois, but I go any state. Basically, we look to find. It depends where the vehicle is and what we're looking for, and same for them coming to us. So I just did one to Oklahoma here last week where, that we had the exact thing somebody there wanted. So they came up and got it from us.
Okay, so working with a lot of these other dealers, and I feel like it speaks like even more to what you were talking about earlier about like supporting small businesses, and that like if your dealership doesn't have a car you're looking for, maybe another local-ish dealership does. So then it seems like everyone benefits in terms of supporting the dealerships, and the customer hopefully gets the car they're looking for.
Absolutely. Like I said, they're not sacrificing anything. If I don't have it, I can get it, and you can still get the huge savings here and support your local community.
Yeah, there you go. And I feel like that also adds to something we were talking a little bit about during the break, and that it just kind of adds to like the range of cars that you folks have available in terms of the particular models and types of cars, and a lot of the other attributes folks look for in cars. Does that sound accurate?
Absolutely. We have to have something for everybody. I mean, there's people of all walks of life here. I've had vehicles literally side by side where some are under 5,000 and some of the high end ones are over $100,000, and they're both on our lot. We have whatever the budget fits. I mean, we have plenty of lenders for any situations. I mean, we try to cover all our bases, and I think we do a pretty good job of it. There's not a whole lot of times people come in and we don't have or can't get what they need.
Yeah, and I see it at least with what's out on the dealership lot. Anytime I drive by there, and I'm sure there's much more than that as well, beyond what's there, and even beyond what's at your other locations. But yeah, I'll tell you what, we've got about 90 seconds left. You and I were talking a little bit during the break, a little more about the Jeep Wranglers, which you mentioned earlier would be quite popular at this time of the year. Anything else you want to mention about that, or about the deals that are going on with it, or anything like that?
Well, if you're interested, definitely act on them, because everybody else is catching on. And with these fuel prices, like we talked about, that is starting to influence them. I've noticed that they are definitely going up in price, and we're holding on and getting as many as we can. I bought another truckload last week. I'm looking here, as soon as you and I get off phone, I'm going to get on the sale with Mr. Ridings, and we're going to try to get some more. I've got a dozen new vehicles due in here this week, so we should have plenty of fresh inventory by the end of the week as well. But like I said, definitely on these Wranglers, those are the hot buy right now. Fuel prices and going into summer, that's definitely one to act on and act fast, because I don't know how long we'll be able to maintain that.
Oh, that's right. And if folks we've got about 30 seconds left. Where can folks go online to see more?
BobWritingsPena.com.
BobWritingsPena.com. You heard it from Brian Booth, the general manager at Bob Writings Pena. Brian, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thank you, Reed.
Yeah, no, it was good to talk to you. And thank you for joining us here on the WTIM Pena Morning Show on your information station. Stay tuned. We'll have another conversation coming up for you in about 10 minutes.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. No relief yet from skyrocketing gas prices, topping $4 a gallon for the first time since 2022. AAA has the national average for a gallon of regular at just over $4. That's up $1 in a month. The U.S. has hit a central Iranian city, sending a massive fireball high into the sky. And Tehran struck a fully loaded Kuwaiti oil tanker in the Persian Gulf as the Iran war rolls on. There may be no relief yet from sky-high gas prices, but there is relief for travelers at airports. Security lines are getting shorter now that President Trump has intervened, making sure that TSA officers are getting paid. Congress has not taken any action. Lawmakers currently on a 2-week holiday break. The opening bell sounding on Wall Street, stocks starting off higher. This is SRN News.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
WTIM.
This is Reed Kim. I'm reporting. Jim Baker, the Republican nominee for Christian County Sheriff, is in the early stages of preparing to take up the role on December 1st. He secured the nomination in the primary elections 2 weeks ago with no candidates outside of the Republican primary race. As the current chief deputy in the Sheriff's Department, Baker says he intends to begin working towards implementing specific plans he campaigned on.
With that, as far as looking ahead with the changes, it'll be just something that over the next 8 months, I'll be, looking at how I'm going to approach that. And I don't see any significant changes right off the bat. The deputies, correction dispatcher, everything will just flow as normal. And then I will start working on things that I have ran on my campaign to start moving in that direction. I think at this point, even before that, I'll start working like bringing back the triad program and start working to get somebody trained up to maybe start working on like the